Alright y'all, this is gonna be a quick one, but I really need to share something with you. A couple of weeks ago, I flew 2,000 miles and spent over 24 hours stuck in an airport, just to see a band with 20 views on YouTube. This included 2 separate nights of sleeping on an airport terminal bench while Christmas music blared on a 4-hour loop above me. For the first near hour of the show, I was the only one there who didn't know one of the band members personally. Now, you may be asking yourself a couple of questions right now, like, why would anybody do this? And, are you insane? Well, yeah, but there's a much more important question that needs to be addressed. Was any of this worth the trouble? Yes! Hello everyone, it is Tuesday, I am Tuesday, and today we're going to talk about a band that I can guarantee none of you have heard of, which is an absolute goddamn travesty. They're called Deja Vibes, and if that name doesn't pique your interest already, let me learn you some knowledge on them before we get going. Based out of Austin, Texas, the band was formed during the dark year, when they started playing jams at a local farmer's market. They've gained some notoriety as regular performers at the Blind Pig Pub on the 6th Street Circuit, have intermittently toured around the outlying metropolitan areas that surround Austin, including Round Rock and Georgetown, and have even played shows outside of San Antonio. They've got a pretty standard setup, playing with keys, 2 guitars, a bassist, and 1 drummer, but their presence is anything but. Suffice it to say that their vibe on stage is immaculate, and they all make the groove feel easy when you're in the room hearing them play. With that in mind, the only real thing you should be wondering right now is why you should care to listen. Well, because unlike what happened with me, it's really not going to take up a whole lot of your time in order to get into this band. They only have 2 EPs out at time of recording, Vibin' Around Town and Don't Give Me the Blues, each of which only clock in at around 20 minutes a pop. I'd suggest starting with Don't Give Me the Blues, though, specifically the song Higher Ground. The EP as a whole has a pretty diverse array of both tones and vibes, no pun intended, but Higher Ground is only like 3 minutes long and gives a good impression of what this band can be when interacting with them live on stage. Before we get to that though, I just wanted to explain the feeling of their sound. In a word, it's diverse. Don't get me wrong, it's all couched in the blues, but pretty much all of their tracks pull from an array of different genres, funk to classic rock, alt tones to late 90s punk, or even a little bit of psychedelia. It's all there in a smorgasbord of sounds that makes their music feel familiar, but in a way you haven't necessarily heard before. Each EP presents itself as an opportunity to groove in a concise manner that makes the music feel like it goes longer than its actual physical runtime. In a good way, though. Each song stretches out time in a way that's enjoyable to take part in. Now, some of the more eagle-eared viewers might have heard me say the first hour of the show and extrapolated that to mean the show I saw went on for multiple hours, and you'd be right. It was 4 hours long to be exact, including 2 encores as demanded by the audience who did eventually show up. Deja Vibes absolutely thrive in the jam, and while they definitely don't shy away from playing cover songs, apparently one of the venues they play at only really wants them to play cover songs, but I'll get into that in a second. They do what they can to make those things last in a way that feels both organic and unique to the collection of artists physically performing on stage. It's so easy to just get caught up in the vibe, again, no pun intended, that no matter what they're playing, it just feels good to listen to. That being said, they have 2 separate acts, the one they take on the road with them and the one they play on 6th Street. More specifically, you can break it up into what they play at the Blind Pig Pub and what they play everywhere else. If you end up going to see them live in Austin and you want to hear them play mostly their own music, don't go to the Blind Pig Pub. That's where they do most of their cover work because they're all working musicians and the bills need paid somehow. If you're down for that though, or don't really care either way, it's a great energy fostered by good music played really well. So if you do make the trek out to see them, no matter which of their two acts you see, if you like live music, I can almost guarantee you'll have a good time. Otherwise, if you only want to hear bands who bring 100% of their own artistic vision to the stage, you'll probably want to hear them play anywhere else. Which of course leads us to why. Why am I making this video? Well, because of this right here. This is the subscriber count of my channel at time of recording, and this is theirs. I am no one on this platform, and they still have less subscribers than me, and yeah, Deja Vibes has a video with nearly 62,000 views on it, but that can really only be seen as an outlier. It's called Bacon in the Sun, and when I spoke with their lead singer, Dave Escamilla, after the show was over, telling him how YouTube had randomly recommended me their music, that was the song he assumed I had heard. But it wasn't. It was actually Higher Ground, which surprised him, and it's not exactly hard to see why. Most of the rest of their music releases don't tend to break 100 views on YouTube. None of them break over 1,000. Hell, my janky-ass Neverending Story 2 video has more views on YouTube than their entire second EP combined. And I just don't think that's fair. I would rate my insane escapade across the country to be like 6 out of 10. It was definitely worth my time and I enjoyed myself while I was doing it, but there were definitely some points that detracted from the experience. The music though, each EP, 9s across the board, and I have no idea why more people aren't listening to them. Like, look at me. I spend most of my time talking about characters nobody cares about and making fun of movies nobody watches, and somehow have more subscribers than these guys do. Every single one of Deja Vibes members is immensely more talented than I am, and if anybody on this platform deserves an audience, it's them. So, because of the wonderful analytics options that YouTube provides me, I know for a fact that most of you found my channel because of the music content. You can deny it all you want, but at the end of the day, you can't hide from me. I know you. So here's what I want you to do. I don't care if you like and subscribe to me in this video, but I do want you to check out Deja Vibes. I know from what you've told me in the comments that you guys are a bunch of music nerds, so if you've agreed with any of my takes on music taste, please, at least give this band a shot. Anything beyond that is completely up to you. As always, it is Tuesday, I am Tuesday, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye! I don't know what was going on in the Fort Lauderdale airport, but the Christmas music was just blaring nonstop on what had to have been a 4-hour loop. In the middle of the night, too. Like, why? Just turn it off. From midnight to 4 a.m., please, just turn it off. Nobody cares if there's no Christmas music playing at 2 in the morning.